Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar hosted by Alphamine. My name is Patrick Hernandez, and I'm excited to moderate the second installment of our Career Journeys with Football Experts series. So, for those joining us for the first time, Alphamine is a global talent management and consulting firm dedicated to connecting exceptional professionals with leading organizations across various industries. Our global reach allows us to bridge the gap between talent and opportunity in dynamic and innovative ways. So, in this series, we're exploring the fascinating career transitions of professionals within the football industry. With the UEFA season captivating fans around the world, there's no better time to dive into the stories of those who have successfully navigated their paths from the football pitch to thriving careers off the field. So today we have the pleasure of hearing from three distinguished professionals who bring a wealth of experience and insights into different facets of the football industry. So first we have Claudia Hartung, project manager marketing at SV Werder Bremen. Claudia will share her expertise in marketing for a prominent football club, discussing innovative strategies and the challenges of promoting a team in a competitive sports market. Her perspective of fan engagement and brand development will be particularly enlightening. And then next, we are joined by Gianmarco Pintaloro from FIGC, or Federazione Italiana Giuoco Calcio, where he serves as a match manager. So Gianmarco will delve into his role in managing football matches for Italian Football Federation, offering insights into the logistics and coordination required to ensure smooth operations on game day. His experience as well as in event management, sorry about that, and match coordination will provide a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to run a successful football match. And lastly, we have Jan-Luca Lossau, marketing coordinator for the women's football team at SV Werder Bremen. So Jan-Luca will give us a behind-the-scenes look at his work in coordinating marketing efforts for the women's team, emphasizing the importance of cohesive branding and fan engagement in the football industry. So his dedication to promoting women's football and creating a vibrant fan community is truly inspiring as well. So thank you all for joining us today. We are eager to hear your stories and gain insights from your experiences. So to start, I'd like to ask each of you briefly introduce yourselves and give us a quick overview of your current role. So Claudia, can you tell us a bit about your role and what it entails on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, thank you, and hello everybody. My name is Claudia. I'm working at SV Werder Bremen since 13 years, and I think my role is divided in two main parts. The most important part is to work together with our supplier Hummel. They are doing all our clothes and stuff for our male team and also for the female team, but this is my focus. It starts from a design briefing, seeing the first samples with Hummel, and see all the jerseys, the match day outfits for the team, training interview as well, give the releases for the samples, and finally, developing campaigns, communication campaigns for the release of the jerseys, and do the production of the campaigns, and make sure that every department of Werder Bremen has content material to spread it out all over the world. If their jerseys are right there, like now, we have the beginning of our season right now. And the second part is a part which is getting more and more important for us in the last years. It's about corporations and collabs. So we are looking for special brands, artists, designers, organizations, startups to combine our proposals, or to find out where's the best fit in our mindset, and we create projects or products and to have a win-win situation for both parts. Just a quick.
All right. Thank you so much, Claudia. It's fascinating to hear about your role at where you are right now. So let's continue to Gianmarco. So can you share us a bit about your role as a match manager at FIGC and what your typical day looks like?
Hi, hello to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, I'm in the federation from almost 1 year and a half. And as a match manager. So I'm a delegate about the federation during the match day. And my job, in a few words, is to ensure the right development of all the events. So I have to check some things about different fields like commercials or sponsorship materials, or other things like rules and guidelines provided by the federation. And an important part of the job is for sure the time management. So this is a general overview. So the during the day is about to prepare all the things for the match, and then the very important part of the job is during the match day. So on the Saturday or Sunday, then to guarantee the right use of all the structure and materials prepared for it.
Okay, I mean, this is pretty interesting. It's pretty much very operational and very hands-on, especially very busy on the D-Day. So thank you so much, Gianmarco, for the insights. And then Jan-Luca, can you tell us about your role as marketing coordinator for the women's football team and what your daily responsibilities involve?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Nice to meet you all, guys. I used to study cultural studies back in the day, then worked as an editor and for agencies like Jungformat. And then since last year, I'm marketing coordinator for women's football. So I'm just my first year kind of at a football club, which is very interesting in its own kind of way. Focusing on the women's game here. So I'm responsible for brand strategy, campaigning with all our partners, especially for the women's game here. And trying to grow women's sports, women's football at Werder Bremen and in general. So I'm very tied to all the other departments at Werder Bremen, because in the end it's all like on the pitch as well, teamwork. And we're all trying to grow women's sports, women's football at Werder Bremen.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Jan-Luca. I mean, your work in promoting women's football and engaging fans is something that's going to be very interesting as well. Now that we have a better understanding of each of your roles, and let's delve deeper into your career journeys and the skills you've transferred from the football field to your current profession. So, first of all, I mean, let's go with Claudia. I mean, can you share your journey on how you got into the football industry and what were the key steps and challenges you faced along the way?
Yes, I try to do this. First of all, I was interested in sports and football in general. I think it helps. And then I had different steps before getting into this position. I was studying international management in Leipzig, in Germany, and it's more very general studying. But my first internship during the study was at Bayern 04 Leverkusen, where I get the first insight of the football industry and in the Bundesliga as well. I had also amazing experience in 2006 when we had the championship in Germany, and yes, I think I get the idea how emotional football is and how it connects people, and that this was the thing which makes me more interested in this industry and shows me how much passion is in this product, football. And afterwards I switched into the textile industry. I was there for 4 years working as a buyer, and that helps me to understand the circles or production steps you have for merchandise, for example. And after 4 years, I felt I have to go back to the football industry to have, as I said, more emotions and to get closer to the people, and to do something with more passion. And then I was the first female person who's working in the marketing team at Werder Bremen, Before there were only guys there, and our CEO had the idea and knew that it's helpful to have a more mixed team and to have different perspectives, and that's I think it's important in all projects we are doing. Yeah, and that's about 13 years ago, and the job and my topics are developing all the time, so it's different to 13 years before and still interesting.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, I can tell that the thrill that you miss, especially when you transition, and then the thrill that you miss, and then decided to go back, which is amazing. I mean, thank you. I mean, I can tell as well. But did you start as a football player as well? Were there dreams? I mean, probably other you guys as well, that you had a dream of being a football player, and then you know what? I mean, football players, being an athlete is not for me, but I want to be involved or be around in the football industry. Was that your idea, or how does it go?
No, unfortunately, when I was a young girl, football for girls wasn't that popular, unfortunately, but I did all different kind of stuffs and sports. I try everything. And my dream was, to be honest, I saw a television speaker, a female television speaker, and her name is Monika Lierhaus. I don't think that she's very popular international. I think she was the first anchor woman in sports. And I think this was important because she was like a role model and gave me the spirit to be a woman in the sports industry, in the football industry. And this was a kind of dream or role model I want to reach out to say, I want to be part of this football branch.
Okay, thank you so much. That's pretty interesting. I mean, having a role model and then to where you are now is pretty amazing. And how about you, Gianmarco? How did you start it?
So for sure, I'm a sports fan too, and since I was young, and especially a football fan. So I played the game for almost 15 years. So then I decided to focus all my effort to the studies. So I tried to switch my career to the pitch from profession. And then I've studied, I have had general studies like management and business communication at the University of Turin, and then after that, after the degree, I wanted to try the world of work in first person. So I traveled through different companies or fields like credit management, corporate credit management, or sales marketing, or banking, but I wasn't so happy about my roles and all the scenarios about my future. So then after some years, I decided to coming back and dive again into the studies. And so I decided to this time to specialize me in the field that most represent me, that is the sports, for sure. So now it's 2 years and a half ago, I decided to move to Modena from Turin. Modena is a small city placed in the central part of Italy, in the Emilia-Romagna region. And in order to complete a master's degree in management of sport organization, facilities and events. So I have the direct path to the field and the sector. As you know, there are, especially in Italy, because is the case that I can speak, there are a lot of barriers between the world of work, the general world of work, and the sports one. So with this master degree, I have the direct way to pass through, and then I have the opportunity to find a job in these fields. And so I joined the Football Federation, the Italian Football Federation, FIGC or FIGC in Italian. And at the same time, now I'm currently commercial and sponsorship account specialist at Torino Football Club, that is an Italian Serie A team, an historical Serie A team. So this is my path. Not so straight on. I have to try some experiences. So then I have understood that my right way was in the sports.
I mean, so that basically you were testing the waters, which one works for you, and then you eventually found football or sports is the right path for you. All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Gianmarco. What about you, Jan? This is also probably interesting as well, especially specifically in the women's football team.
Yeah, I played the game my whole life as well. And of course, I think when you play the game, you always dream of like being somehow connected with your job to that, to your passion, kind of. Not necessarily as a player, because I wasn't that good to reach that level. But actually, I always had the dream of rather working like my other passion, music. That's why I started studying cultural studies, and I always wanted to become kind of a musician or work at least in the music industry. And while studying and doing all the music stuff, I rather came into like communications in the communication field, work as an editor, as I said already, and from there went to like the agency space. So and that's kind of my way into the football industry, because then I worked for Jungformat Sports, coming from like the communication and marketing perspective. So it's, as Gianmarco already said, it wasn't straight on. There was no plan, no necessarily like a goal saying I want to work in the football industry. It's just like it happened, and I'm very glad that I reached that. But sometimes it's like, I mean, yeah, having like a goal, something is great, but sometimes just evolving, and then suddenly you're in the football industry. And especially with the women's football, I already had touch points when working for Jungformat, because their CEO Katja Kraus is very like iconic person in football in general, but also like women in football. And that's kind of the bridge where I had like my first experience with women in football and women's football. And that's why I always kind of was interested in that. But yeah, as I said, I came from the communication marketing perspective, and then went into the football industry, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, all of you. I mean, thank you so much, Jan. I mean, that was an interesting path as well. It wasn't as smooth as what people probably would think, where you have the passion for football, then you go straight to the football industry, but that's not the case with all of you guys. So thank you so much on that. So probably my next question, maybe Jan, you can answer this first. So my next question will be focusing on crucial aspects of any career, not just in football industry, but because we're talking about in the football industry, how important do you think networking and also relationships are in this industry?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I kind of have like an ambivalent approach or perception of networking, because on the one hand, of course, I like it when there are great people, getting to know them. So it's always great, and of course, it helps you because in certain situations you kind of need a good network. Sometimes just for sparring, but if it's just for the sake of it. That's not my kind of thing, because I don't like these big events where it's just about networking for the sake of it. But of course, it's necessary if you want to become like somebody, I think, in the industry, because sometimes, and that's what I experienced already, is that in certain situations, whether it's a job issue or like a kind of a mental issue or something, the outside perspective of people helps you more than the inside. And I think when that's the situation, somebody from the outside and like a strong network can help you very well. And so I think networking is a very, very, very important thing. But as I said, like an ambivalent perspective on that, just with people I like, I guess.
I mean, that's totally understandable. I mean, again, everyone has their different approaches in terms of getting the views of networking, and that's pretty unique of you as well to mention, Jan, on how you view networking. So what about you, Gianmarco? What do you think?
No, I think that what Jan said is correct. Maybe it's important, or it's a pleasure to have contact and relation with the people that you like, for sure. But for the profession, for our profession in the sports, especially, as he said, is I think fundamental. In my role during the week at Torino Football Club, I'm an account, so it is the main part of my job, being in contact, in a good contact with all the people that represent all the companies that have relation with the club. So after that too, it's important to maintain them, to maybe try to become some in these fields, or maybe to simply learn something, because it's important to be prepared to learn always by everyone, because everyone has something to teach. So I think it's important, the networking for sure, and the sharing connected to it.
All right. I mean, so basically saying that networks and relationship is also something that can broaden your perspective or your views in terms of what you're working on, or even better in terms of what you can improve as well. So thank you so much, Gianmarco. So what about you, Claudia? What's your perspective? What's your point of view on that?
I think because of the issues I'm working with, I have a bit of different perspective. For me and my jobs, networking and relationships are very important, because I'm doing a lot of projects, and where I have to produce campaigns or movies, reels for other social media content, and it's always very helpful for special campaigns to have like artists or producer, also very young producer or filmmakers, or somebody who has another perspective on this project and who gives me creative input, or helps me to produce all the content we have to do. And as you know, maybe from other industries, it always has to be in short time, it has to be tomorrow, and then you have to have good connections to different people who can help you very fast. And this is one part for what, for me, it's very important to have a good network of different producers or creatives or other people. And on the other hand, I think it's so necessary in our industry and in the responsibility we have each day as a football club, to listen to other people and to understand what are the challenges in our community or in other clubs, to learn from each other. And that's why I think a deep network or very good relationships are very helpful in the job. It always brings you to the next step, to the next level, if you listen to other and learn from each other.
Okay, perfect. I mean, that adds up basically another addition to networking, and also how it could enhance us, not just in terms of like who we know, but also in terms of like the deeper engagement, also in terms of basically what we're doing as well. So thank you so much on that, Claudia, Jan, and Gianmarco. So probably my next question would be also in terms of creativity. So in terms of creativity, what do you think in terms of what role does creativity play in your job, and how do you foster it within the team or within yourself? So probably Gianmarco, you can start.
So basically, referring to my job as a delegate of Women's Serie A for the Federation, I think creativity is not as important as networking or other things, because maybe other important things are placed, like time management or control. So, but referring to my job as an account at Torino Football Club, so having daily relation with other companies, creating projects or campaigns. I know, and it's sure that creativity and seeing some different or maybe original, it's so important to make the partner sure that the partnership has the right value for both the part, so creativity, innovation, I think, is fundamental as well, and it's a part of happiness of the client,
I mean, everyone smiled when happiness was mentioned there. But again, thank you so much, Gianmarco, for that insight. What about you, Jan? What do you think in terms of creativity?
Well, when I was at the agency in Vermont, I think creativity was way more important than now, because I think in the end, of course, marketing, campaigning always has to be kind of creative. To touch people or to approach people in some kind of way. But sometimes maybe it's not only creativity and it's like basic definition, but also finding like maybe creative ways or solutions, because I think, and Claudia can definitely underline that, I guess, that it's in our job, it's always about, and Gianmarco probably as well, that it's always about finding solutions, like problem solving, and sometimes you have to have like a creative idea to solve a problem that it's maybe not the common way. So I think creativity in its dimension is key to like probably every job that's working with people or working like with marketing projects and anything in football industry. So yeah, definitely a very important role, but maybe not only in its, as I said, basic definition when it comes to creativity and a creative motive or campaign or something like that.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Jan. What about you, Claudia? How creativity plays a pivotal role in what you've been doing?
Yes, I completely agree to what Jan said. Let's be creative and find a solution. I think this is more the issue or the topic. But of course, especially in my job, when we speak about designing new products, for example, for our community, it has to be creative. Or if we are thinking about how can we present our new jersey to the fans, like last week, we decided to do it in a semi-final in a TV studio, and like we did. A league we organized by ourselves, and with the world champion Per Mertesacker, we do a league together. So this was really creative. But yes, I think important in this case is still, or also to understand what are the values of your company or your club. And how can you reach your community? So yes, be creative, but not don't do crazy stuff just to do crazy stuff. So be aware of your community or your clients, like Gianmarco said. And I think that's a challenge. You're doing creative things.
I mean, thank you so much. That's also a different view in terms of creativity and how you say it as well. But speaking of challenge, this is also an interesting thing. So, in terms of challenges, So, what are the biggest challenges that you face in your role, and how do you overcome it? Is it more on an individual kind of situation or team, or how does the communication as well in terms of fighting these challenges to be solved or to be run smoothly, you could say? And maybe Jan, you can start on that.
Yeah, it kind of gets along well with the networking kind of question, I guess, because in the end, it's not only networking with people from the outside or in the industry. Maybe it's networking in your organization as well, like having a good relationship with other departments, I guess. So I think in the end, challenges always occur kind of when there are kind of miscommunications or something. I guess that's probably the biggest thing, maybe. So that's a challenge always, I guess, that you have to solve, like be communicative with the people around you. And then, of course, there are always like challenges appearing on the job. But I think if you have like a good team spirit or a good task force kind of mindset, then you can solve these problems easier than alone. So I wouldn't say that they're like, of course you have individual challenges as well, but you can probably solve them better when you open up in your organization as well. So I think it's, as I said, there are many challenges, and if you talk about the women's game, the women's football, there are even probably more challenges. Maybe we can talk about that later as well. But I'd say these are like probably the biggest challenges in your company that you can solve easily with communication, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, to be frank, I'm really curious as well. Can you at least give me one highlight that you feel like it was your biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I probably will not go too much into detail, but of course, like the women's game has developed, of course, but it's in a way shorter amount of time than the men's game. So obviously there are probably in every football club in Germany, there are like very few people who are fighting for it for a very long time. And obviously they can maybe kind of feel like standalone people like in clubs, and then suddenly there are more people helping them. But I think it's not, we're not on equal play or equal pay or anything yet. So it's like fighting for something, but now we have to kind of accept that we're fighting together, for instance, but still fighting. So it's like and that's, I mean, we're fighting for a good thing. It's not fighting at war or something, but of course there are challenges when fighting for a thing in your company. And of course they are like, you have to convince people. But again, if you have like a good team or something, and the people around you kind of support you, they have a way bigger voice, and then you can get along and grow it within your company.
So basically having this constant reminder as well, just to remember what was your purpose and what's the goal, the end goal, especially promoting women's football as well. All right. Thank you so much, Jan. So what about you, Gianmarco?
Yes, for this one, I want sure to connect to the answer of Jan, because for sure the networking helps to solve all the challenges, but sometimes all the teams are composed by different kind of people and professional, so every one of each has their role and their goals. So in some situation, maybe it is difficult to make sure that all the process guarantee the right path to the goal, because maybe the graphic one has a goal, a specific goal. So the account has the goal to maintain the relation between the two parts. The graphic one has to create a good shape of visual, but sometimes it's difficult to align all the team to the biggest goal, and understand that all the small tasks are a small task, but they are all a part of a big project. I think that daily is the most important challenge to overcome, for sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Gianmarco. Heading to you, Claudia. What do you think?
For me, the biggest challenges in my job are to keeping the overview. To stay focused to the goal, to inform everybody, every department, every person who's relevant, and the bigger the club or the organization is getting, it's more difficult to to see everybody and to concern every opinion. Yes, I think it's always a challenge, not just to find out what you think it's the best for your club. It's better you have to know your community or your clients, your fans. This is always a challenge, and yeah, I always say this to myself: what does the fan want? Not what's my opinion, and yes, and to set priorities, like also Gianmarco said, to collect everybody to one goal, and to also have to be brave, or to dare to say no, we will not do this project because the other one is more important, to skip something, to cut something. I think this is also a challenge because you have a lot of possibilities, and there are so many decisions you have to do, or so many options you have. And this is the challenge, to find out what is really important, what is important for your community, and to cut off the other projects.
All right, perfect. I mean, that's very diverse as well, with a very dynamic point of view, to be honest with you, in terms of challenges. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us. So it's inspiring as well to hear how you each tackle challenges and continue to thrive, basically, in your respective roles. So in terms of now we're going to move on to our final segment, so where we'll discuss the relevance to recruitment for the next 10 minutes or even so. The segment will focus on the skills and also experiences needed to succeed in the football industry, and how candidates can stand out when applying for jobs. So our first question is that what skills or experiences do you think are essential for someone looking to work in your area of football? Or do you guys feel there's something in common in terms of experiences and also skills, in just to be a part of a football organization or just working around the football industry? Maybe Gianmarco, you can start.
Yes. Then I think for sure that an important skill about our role is, as said by Jan, the problem solving, because every day there's some problems, every kind of problems, and you have to face with some situation that need a solution, and maybe the base solution isn't working for every type of problem. So the innovation is right through this type of skill, problem solving and adaptability, I think, to different kind of people and situations. So another for sure important skill is to represent your needs to become a professional. So you have to spread the right passion. I think a thing in common by me, maybe Jan and Claudia, or my teammates at the office, are passion for the sports, for football, and so they wants to work. So I think that they are the most important skill that lead me to this position. The open-minded for sure, and the open to different type of works, the dirty one too, and so the problem solving too, for sure.
All right, so keeping an open mind, and then be problem solving, and also like you mentioned, it's pretty interesting as well, especially at the end of the part that you just mentioned. But thank you so much on that, Gianmarco. So what about you, Claudia? And then we'll continue with Jan after.
I think it's very helpful if you have a hands-on mentality in my kind of job. So to see the problems and to solve the problems, and not waiting for somebody who's pushing you, just do it. sometimes, then to be creative, to be brave, to be the first mover, and to know the trends, to be well informed what's going on in the society, what are the news in the world, what are the trends on social media as well. It has to be very close to your client or to your fan, and has to be able to have different perspectives and to have the possibility or the mindset to understand what are the different views of the parties which are involved in our job.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Claudia. What about you, Jan? What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think maybe you can kind of summarize it as kind of dynamic, because it's like such a dynamic industry, and being dynamic as well, like not always look on like the work hours or your job description. Just kind of be ready for the task or the project and do it. Find solutions, find creative ways in coping with that, and especially when it comes to like the different stakeholders or people around the industry, as Claudia already mentioned. I think they're like also two very generic skills or soft skills like empathy and resilience, because on the one hand, of course, you kind of, as Claudia said, need to understand the fan. As Gianmarco said, he needs to understand his accounts, his clients. We do the same, obviously, with our partners, and there are so many opinions, and of course you have to be like, you have the empathy to kind of match that, and on the other hand you have to be kind of resilient, because sometimes there are too many voices and too many opinions and too many kind of tasks or like expectations to match, and so you have to be very careful, I guess, and be resilient, and kind of as Claudia said, be brave and kind of making decisions and stick to them as well. So I think it's very generic, and everything else you can kind of learn on the job, I guess.
Okay, gotcha. But at the same time, so probably a follow-up question regarding to this. So in terms of advice, I mean, how do you think candidates can differentiate themselves, understanding what makes a candidate unique, especially in this industry? How can you share your insights of how football organizations recruit talent and what they look for? Basically elaborating on that. Maybe Jan, you can start on that.
First, I mean, we're not the ones who are recruiting. Of course, we talk to people in the first place. But yeah, I think from my experience and what I kind of experience on the other side as well, kind of recruiting people, always was like kind of, it sounds kind of pathetic, but being themselves, kind of, for me at least, is better than kind of doing something just for the sake of it. It's like the same with the networking stuff. For me, it's always like about authenticity, like being yourself sometimes helps you more getting a job, I guess, than slipping into a role and just doing the keynote with like 20 pages just because somebody else does it. But maybe it's just better to be authentic, do like a letter, send it to them, and then be just yourself in a nice talk like we do here. So I think that would be my advice. But I think, of course, if you want to stand out, there are certain ways and creative ways to do that. But that's my kind of approach to that.
I mean, that's pretty unique as well. I mean, yes, basically stand out and being original is what you're trying to say. So what about you, Claudia? What do you think? Were you also involved in terms of like recruitment as well? And what was your ideal kind of candidate?
I'm not that much involved in recruiting, except the people who doing an internship in our organization. And for me, it's always interesting if I see that the girl or the guy is interested in different things. Of course, in sports, it's helpful, but also in, as I mentioned before, different trends or things that are going on in the world, and not to, I don't know the English word to have a, in Germany we say Scheuklappen, if you just have a really small part of what you're looking at. And yeah, of course, because you're the whole day working together, such a huge part of your life. So the chemistry has to be very good. For football clubs, I think it's important to have the same mindsets and to understand the values of the club, because for me it's a huge difference between Werder Bremen and Bayern Munich, for example, and also maybe in the league sometimes as well, but also in the values or the things we are focused on. And I think it's not possible to perform in both clubs very good. So it has to be also with the same mindset, or you have to understand the values and of the club. And of course, you have to do teamwork or be open for teamwork, or as Gianmarco said, the dirty work is also part of our work, the same as like strategy work. Be flexible, be dynamic, just have fun, be yourself and show what you are, because after some months latest we will see if it works or not. So
I mean, that's pretty interesting, especially you just mentioned about culture fit. So basically, even though let's say the clubs are all in Germany, but doesn't mean that one club is the same as another. So basically having the emotional attachment and also having this culture fit kind of sense is always plays a crucial role in terms of like recruitment, and especially in the football industry. That's pretty insightful as well. So what about you, Gianmarco? What do you think is a ideal candidate, you could say?
Yes, on this I totally agree with Claudia and Jan for sure. It's important, as said by Claudia, be flexible for sure in this kind of work, and have the right adaptability to different kind of situation. But the main suggest that I can give you to someone is the suggest that Jan gave us, is to be yourself. That is the thing that I say to myself at the mirror. So I think that this type of mentality and behavior carry you to the right places and right goals. Be yourself, dive into yourself, find your values, find your purpose, to understand why you are doing what you're doing. So you, in this way, can transmit it to other people and be understood by all the recruiters, and you can transmit all the passion about your path. So don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to break the rules, to leave a job to another. We have one life, so try it and don't be afraid about anything. This is my advice.
I mean, basically, what all you guys are trying to say is go out your comfort zone, and also have a big faith on yourself. Plays a crucial role in terms of being a part in this amazing industry as well. So probably my last question for this day, I mean, for this segment, is that it's going to be an interesting question. So our next question addresses common misconceptions. So what are the common misconceptions about working in the football industry, and what should candidates know? I mean, this is also very interesting. Maybe Gianmarco, you can start.
The main misconception, I think, that is that people think that working the sports, it seems like be a football player, but it's not this kind of job. It's hard to work in order to provide all the good services for the team. Is our kind of job in this field is to ensure the good back the backend, so all the front, the players, the managers can show their value. It's to work on in shadows, and as said before, make their job, because it's part of that, and it's not only working for you, but it's working for others. I think that's the main misconception. On daily basis, all the work I do is for others and not for me. So we're not football player, but we help them to be the football player they want to be.
All right, perfect. What about you, Jan?
Yeah, well, I think it's like when we like the first question, or kind of how we came into the football industry, talking about dreams and like coming to the football. And I was dreaming about maybe working in football, and of course, it's always like the case when you work in like a passion, or when you work in a job which is your passion, it becomes your job. And like the passion becomes your job, kind of, even though if you're not on the field, you're off pitch, but you're working like in football. So what kind of changes is, I think, your conception or your consumption or anything on football. Like, of course, I mean, I still enjoy watching football, but you always think of things you can adapt or things you would do differently, or anything. Like, be aware that when you go into your passion and work for that, it totally changes everything, how you look on your passion, and probably you should find something else that kind of does the same thing as football did before. That would be like my advice, or that's something people should know, that it's not as it was before. I'd say that, and not it totally. It's not negative in a way, but it's different. It's different.
Okay, gotcha. What about you, Claudia?
You mean, Jan, the football is losing its magic?
No, I'm not saying that, but it's a different magic then. Yeah. It's a different magic now.
I agree. Yes, what are the misunderstandings? I think maybe some people think they have to be a former player to be successful in the football industry. That's not right. Or they think they have to be football experts to be successful. I think it's not right anymore. I think it's more important to be an expert on your special topic or issue, because this is the thing we need more and more, because it's so various and so diverse. So one person can't be the expert in every area, so you need more different experts in the topic. So yes, this is one thing. And I think as the two guys said before, if you're just watching football, you have a big picture of it, and you don't see all the small steps behind to give this big picture to the fans or the community. And yes, I think some people forget these steps, and all these steps have to be done by somebody. And so it is very necessary and helpful to connect with all departments inside, to talk to each other. It's so simple, but it's very helpful to understand the perspectives of the other guys, and that you have to do very small steps to reach the goal to have a successful match or event for your community and your fans.
I totally agree. I feel like it's very underrated how professional and world-class people like you guys are working on it, especially when fans watch some matches. They don't even notice, like, oh, there's this marketing side, there's this operational side. They don't notice at all. So kudos to all of you guys in terms of that. So I thought, in terms of misconceptions, I thought maybe friends or family reach out to you guys and ask for free tickets. I thought, is there any cases like that? What's your fair share experience? I mean, funny experience, you could say. Maybe Claudia, you can start on that.
yes, as you said, family and friends. My family is always asking me after years, "What are you doing?" So I think it's so hard to understand what we are doing. Is sometimes very abstract for external people. And funny thing. Oh, that's difficult. Just one very nice thing that I keep in mind too. To see that the whole football industry is developing and it's changing. The mindset is changing. When we launched a jersey like 3 years before, it was almost pink or like rosé, and we were very it's uncertain how it will work and if the community and our players will be ready for this color. And then to see how this jersey became such a success in the season, the players liked it, the fans liked it. There were so many jokes on social media, but positive jokes on it. This was like, yes, a very nice anecdote. I remember that it's good to be brave and to try something. And yes, just maybe one thing I can tell you.
All right, perfect. What about you, Gianmarco? What was your fair share experience in terms of like the misconception that I just mentioned? Did a lot of people like reach out to like, hey, John, I need a ticket right now. Can you help me?
For sure, for sure. It is for sure. Every game day at home at the Olimpico Grande Torino Stadium, there's always people asking for tickets, free entry on corporate hospitality, some kind of experiences or walkabout something. So in general, I think that it's so funny when people ask to you to be creative and innovative, and then some people came out with some ideas that are innovative for sure, but sometimes don't respect the correct values of the club maybe, or the situation. So I came out with products or project like crazy one, as said by Claudia at the beginning of the interview. So the most funny things as I seen is some products or project campaigns be done with creativity only because they have to be done with creativity and don't following any kind of rules about historic of the club or values, and then so this is the most funny things, I think.
Okay, last on Jan. Tell us your fair share of experience.
I mean, yeah, I can totally relate with the tickets, and somehow this approach, like from other people saying, now you're there, why can't you do this? And then it's about like, kind of, as we said, like Claudia said, maybe some people don't get what we do at the club because they just see the thing on the pitch and say, okay, you must be involved in all the sports kind of thing, and do not see like the things that happen off pitch. But I'd say maybe that's like a misconception as well, not only for like people from the outside, but and for people who want to work in the football industry, but also from the people who recruit for the football, because in the past it was always like the kind of thing that people who were players came into the club and working as a representative or anything. And maybe if that kind of changes in some roles, like if you're doing like in a sports organization and doing the sports part, it definitely helps that you have, if you have played. But if you do marketing or anything else, you doesn't necessarily have to be a player or something. You just have to be good. And maybe when we change that and have different perspective, we kind of change the conception as well on the outside, looking on our jobs and not always asking us about the new transfer because we didn't sign it. We just made the campaign for the player. Yeah. So that will be maybe my story there.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for those insights, especially into the recruitment process. It's very helpful to know what football organizations prioritize when seeking new talent. So as we wrap up this segment, your insights have provided us valuable information on how to navigate the recruitment process in the football industry. So as we come to an end of our webinar, so I'd like to take a moment to summarize some key takeaways from our discussion today. So we've heard incredible insights into the journey from the football pitch to professional careers, the importance of networking, emerging trends in the football industry, essential skills for aspiring professionals, and also effective strategies for navigating the recruitment process. Our panelists have also shared valuable advice on standing out in job applications and also navigating the recruitment process. So I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our guest speakers, Claudia Hartung, Gianmarco Pintaloro, Jan-Luca Lossau, for their time and the wealth of knowledge they've shared with us today. Your contributions have made this session both informative and also inspiring. So I encourage our audience to connect with Avomind as well as our esteemed speakers on LinkedIn or other platforms for further networking and to continue these valuable conversations. So before we sign off, I'd like to provide some information about our upcoming events and webinars. Berlin office of Avomind Career Creatives are making business connections, Career Next Berlin, and also Avomind Connect Founders and Friends Berlin Meetup. So for more details and to stay updated on all our events, please visit our website at avomind.com. And thank you once again for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events and have a great day. Thank you so much, guys.